Marco Bonifaz is one of Bolivia's top chefs. At his restaurant in La Paz, he says eating local has become a new trend. But one of his key ingredients, and in fact Bolivia's most important staple food, is under threat from climate change. Marco has always cooked with potatoes, and with more than 700 varieties found in Bolivia, who can blame him? But with changes in climate, Bolivia's culinary core is at risk.
Nowadays, we've been noticing that because of the climate changes, we have less quantity and less variety of productions of potato. We have times in which maybe the winter comes earlier than it should, or the days have become much hotter or much intense with the sun.
Marco knows that the effects of climate change go way beyond his restaurant. They are felt even stronger out in the Bolivian Altiplano, or high plains, outside of La Paz. To see how communities here are coping, Marco has traveled to Coro Coro to meet potato farmer Doña Domatila, who has invited him to join her in preparing a traditional Andean dish. Typical chairo. It's known for its varied Andean ingredients, but especially for the potato. And considering how the climate has been treating us, recently it's been putting these essential ingredients at risk.
There is no way to calculate the weather anymore. Before, you could say, on this date it is time to plant, and now we are going to harvest. And the frost came at its time. The snow came at its time. It is no longer like that. Everything has changed. There is not as much potato production anymore.
This is not a new story for Nelly Cañari. She's working with the UN's International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD, studying the climate changes in the region, and she has seen the changing weather patterns affect farmers across the Altiplano.
Since about 8 to 10 years ago, climate change has been increasing, above all hail, frosts and temperatures. The heat dries up the water, there is less water and humidity. When the potato is just starting to sprout and grow, along comes a frost and it freezes, and there is no more potato harvest.
Farmers here are not strangers to food shortages, and they already have traditional ways to respond to this. One of chairo's main ingredients is a special freeze-dried potato called chuño. Invented in this region, these dried potatoes can be stored for up to 3 years, serving as a way for families to ensure their own food security. While preparing for lunch, Marco learns that potatoes are not the only scarce resource here. The Altiplano is barren and open, making firewood difficult to come by. So Marco joins community members in the harvesting of dry cow dung, which, combined with straw and a few sticks, makes for an ample fuel source for the preparation of most meals here. But this natural fuel source and the practice of preserving potatoes may not be enough to ensure food security for entire communities for years to come. To assist with these challenges, IFAD is working with almost 50,000 farmers across Bolivia to help them adapt to the changing weather. A 4-year program combines local, traditional knowledge systems with projects to improve agrobiodiversity, update infrastructure, and more, to reduce losses to families incurred by climate change. Marco hopes that this work will help these communities adapt to the changing climate, just as their forefathers found ways to survive on the foreboding high plains. Although we know that there is no turning back, and that the climate will worsen, we must hope that this phenomenon does not erase traditions and gastronomies, and that these communities can adapt to climate changes to move forward. For today, Marco and Domatila are comforted with a hearty bowl of chairo, shared amongst neighbors. Indeed, Bolivia's culinary roots run deep, and with the right tools and strategies to adapt to a changing climate, Farmers like Domitila can again grow potatoes for themselves and the entire country, ensuring Bolivia's culinary identity remains intact.
Delicioso.